Hello everyone, welcome back. Hopefully you didn't forget about me. I'm Emily from Planned and Planted. I have been MIA from YouTube for like 6 months. I had some health issues start at the beginning of the year, and I'll talk about it a little bit more as I'm going through my common planner because it's documented in my daily pages, so while we're flipping through some of them, we might as well talk about it. But anyway, I wanted to make this video today to show you guys how I'm using my Sterling Ink Common Planner. As you can see, my Common Planner has been getting a lot of love. It's quite chunky. And if you've seen some of my other videos about my Common Planner, I've used a half-year book in the past, and I'm actually kind of regretting not doing that this year because it's really thick. And the journaling experience as it thickens up throughout the year is just not super great. So in preparation for the 2026 planner season launches and everything, I am definitely highly considering going back to a 2-year book, either Sterling Ink or Kobanichi, whatever. So there's that. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about my common planner. So I do still have these gold doodles on here. They did rub off. Mostly when I put a clear cover on, they like rubbed off against it. I debated like putting them back on for this video, but I just kind of wanted you guys to see how it's held up over the years, over the year. So like up here it's fine, but like here where I'm like holding it a lot, it has rubbed off quite a bit. So we'll see. I might redo it right before I'm finished with the journal for good, before it goes into like storage, so we'll see. And I'm still using this Moterm leather cover. This is a B6 size, by the way, in the Common Planner and in the Moterm cover. I really like this cover. I think this is my 2nd or 3rd year using it, but it's got a bunch of pockets right here that I just have random stickers and ephemera that I just don't have use for. As always, I kind of put random stickers at the front, like some of the bigger vinyl stickers that I don't really have places for. So that's kind of getting filled up. This is like a yearly overview in the beginning of the Common Planner, and I used it as a rainbow tracker this year because I live in Hawaii and it's the rainbow state. There's lots of rainbows that you see. So I was just really curious. I didn't have another like serious reason to use this. So I was like, let's make it fun. And every day that I see a rainbow, I basically color in that day. And if I see more than one rainbow, that's where you'll see I like circle that day as well in black. So it's been really fun to see how many rainbows I actually see. And it also makes me like go outside and to be like looking for the rainbows. So that's been really fun to have this year. The blank pages at the beginning, there's 2 blank pages. This is just a like vision board that I made at the beginning of the year. I really liked how this came out, and I love having it at the beginning of my planner because it just, every time I open it up, I'm just like reminded of some of my goals and focus for this year. And I mean, I've got Chasing Rainbows right here. And I do feel like this has helped me stay somewhat oriented towards some of my goals. Like obviously not all of them have happened, but I do feel like the essence of this vision board has definitely been a guiding light as I continue on for the year. And I think that I will probably always have something like this going forward because they're so fun to make and they're just so fun to see every year. This is a page specific to the Sterling Ink Common Planner. It's like the goal breakdown, and you'll see by my little sticky note here, I had ideas for putting here, but ultimately I just didn't feel it was actually going to be functional for me, so I just left it blank, and that's okay. This is my step and exercise tracker. So I actually have my origins in bullet journaling, really, and I almost always have a spread in every one of my bullet journals that looks like this, a step and exercise tracker. And you can actually, I have a blog on my website where I talk about my fitness related bullet journaling spreads, and every single journal you'll see that I have something like this. So I knew as soon as they launched this new page for 2025, I knew that's what I would use it for. And I just think I'm having so much fun with it. So I have the key on a little sticky note here so that when I come over to these later months, I can move it back over here. But basically, each day that I do intentional exercise, and I have to specify intentional and at least 20 minutes for it to count here. But I just think it's such a cool visual way to see how I'm moving throughout the year, because you'll see, like, at the beginning of the year, I kind of started out doing some, like, biking and lifting a little bit, but as my health issues were diagnosed and everything, I did a lot of walking, and that was pretty much all I was doing. But then in like July and August, I basically get some medical clearances to start doing some things, and it gets colorful again. So I just think that's such a cool, fun thing to happen here. These are the quarterly pages in this notebook. I have been using, well, you know, at the beginning of the year, I started out using these as a traditional habit tracker, but you'll see I pretty much stopped in June and haven't started again. I didn't journal at all in June, pretty much. Down here, I was tracking my social media stats for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Substack. Kind of. At the beginning of the year, I did have some like specific goals that I put up here, but I didn't do that for any of the other quarters. And then for the actual monthly breakdown, I was putting down new releases I was excited for, whether that was a book or a TV show or an album. And as always with new release spreads, I fill it out a lot at the beginning of the year, but I'm not very good about, you know, when I hear something is coming out throughout the year and I'm like, oh, I'm excited about that, I forget to like write it down. So it always gets a little bit more sparse as the rest of the year goes by, but yeah, whatever. So that's those pages. Next we get into the monthlies. So my monthly pages for the last 2 years, I've been using them as like a glimmers page. So like one good thing that happened that day. And I love it. I pick a like decorative theme or color for that month and use that color scheme. And then at the beginning of the year, I was sticking to the same writing styles, but a few other people on Instagram started doing similar spreads, and specifically Kristen Hong of K.Hong Hobbies, who's also on YouTube. She started doing like lettering. She was practicing different lettering styles with it. And so I think I eventually, yeah, like you'll see for August, I kind of like am playing with some of the lettering style a little bit more. So that's been a fun little addition of like kind of getting to practice some different lettering styles, because I do get stuck in the same types of lettering. So I always love these pages. That's just a really good practice in gratitude and noticing and in being aware. And then there is a page for January of next year, of 2026. And all of my fellow planner people will know that a lot of us will move into our new books probably before the new year even starts. So there's no way I'm going to be using January of 2026 in this planner. So I went ahead and redid my chaotic top 5s spread. Each box is its own category. And throughout the year, I just add different categories that crop up and I rank my top 5 things. So for this year, I have like carbonated drinks that I miss because my medication makes carbonated drinks taste super weird. Hawaii birds, next to normal songs, because like there was a musical production that PBS put out, and so I wanted to rank some of my favorite songs from there. And as you can see, I don't have all of the categories filled out, and I don't even have the ones that I do have filled out like listed yet. So if you have any suggestions for categories to put here, please let me know in the comments, and the more chaotic the better. I think I had somebody say like your favorite way to eat a potato, so I'll have to add that in there. Let's go ahead and add that right now. This is my Tombow Fudenosuke marker. I honestly don't even know if this is hard or soft tip. Fave ways to eat a potato. So it's just silly things like that. And I like that some of them are very specific to this time in my life, like the carbonated drinks.
Oh my gosh.
I just realized that I already have potato dishes right here, which is basically the same thing. Oh well. Yeah, whatever. Moving on. Next up, we have our weekly pages. These have been such a journey for me to figure out how I like to use them. But basically, I pick a color and like a decorative theme because as much as I try to be minimalist and like simple, I'm about the aesthetic, and I'm learning to be less ashamed to say that. It's a good way to use the supplies that I have because I do have a lot of washi tape and stickers, and I want to use them because I move a lot since my partner's in the military, and I keep buying more stationery, so I need to use some of the stuff that I have as well. So basically, I use this to recap my days after they've already happened, because since I don't journal every single day, I find that if I am trying to back journal a day or two, sometimes it's hard for me to remember what happened. So one thing I know that I am able to do is, as the day goes through, or at the end of the day or the start of the next day, I can go back and just write a quick recap of what I was doing that day. And I also, like, when I'm sitting down to plan my week, I will go ahead and pencil in or like mark if I have any appointments or like classes or certain things that like I will for sure be happening. And it also gives me like a quick overview of the week when I'm like planning. So that's what these spreads look like for like right here. And you know, I use some stickers in there. Sometimes there's some blank space, that's okay. What was new this year was I added this currently sidebar over here. So for most of the year, it was reading, watching, listening, playing, eating, and loving, I think. It kind of took me a few weeks to settle on what I was doing. I had a lot in here for this first one, and it kind of gets, yeah, trimmed down to just those like 6 as we go on, because I also felt like the media I was consuming and what I was eating or drinking that week is such a good way to remember, like jog that part of time in your memory. Like if you were watching a specific show or reading a specific book, it just helps like remind you of the rest of that week or that time a little bit better. So that's why I wanted to do that. And it's been really fun. The one thing I'll say is I include the playing part throughout most of these, but I really don't play video games that often, so a lot of times it was blank, which is okay. Yeah, I think I probably should have just left that out unless I was actually playing a game, because when I play a game, I play it like a lot, usually, and that's why I don't usually play them, because I get very invested. But yeah, so that's what the weekly pages look like, and I love them. I don't think that they will change, and I'll probably flip back once we're in the daily pages to do a comparison, but whatever the theme or like color scheme is for the week here is what I use as the color combo scheme in the daily pages. So there's a little bit of like consistency to some degree, but yeah. So then we get to some of the daily pages. I do have some random like notes and lists throughout here. So I set this up at the beginning of the year. I want to say that Rachel from All the Rad Reads and Allison from Books and Bujo did something similar. Really, for me, it hasn't really necessarily been just pop culture. It's also been historical things. But it's just like as the year goes on and things happen that are either culturally significant or historically significant, writing them down. I have not been super great at keeping up with this, and I need to keep a note in my phone of things like as they happen, because I'm really bad. Like I don't really take this book with me anywhere. It kind of lives here, but my phone goes with me pretty much everywhere. So I need to just have a note for stuff like this and to like write it down as I think of it or like as it happens. And then kind of like use that as reference, because if I don't, I just kind of forget. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that happens, you know, and it's hard to know exactly what I should write down and what I shouldn't. But so there was, I did want to add K-pop Demon Hunters, because that's been like a huge movie for the last few weeks, month, whatever. And I did watch it with my husband last weekend, and I get it. I get the hype. Oh, I also wanted to add the lizard. The little noise from TikTok. But yeah, just stuff like that. That's like so silly, but is just like an overview of the year so that when I'm looking back on these in 5-10 years, it'll jog my memory like, oh my gosh, like I haven't thought about that lizard sound in, a long time. So again, if you have any suggestions of what I should put in here that I'm missing, you can go ahead and like pause and look and see what I have. Let me know in the comments. The other like random list that I have in here is when I cried and why. I only started it in April 7th, and this was also inspired by Kristen Hong of K.Hong Hobbies, and I think she also got the inspiration from Rachel from All the Red Reads. I have not been keeping up with this. I have cried so many more times than is actually listed here. Again, I need to keep a note in my phone because there was a point where I just like realized that I had cried like 5 or 6 times and hadn't written it down. And then I was like, well, what's the point of like continuing now because I'm so far behind? So I would like to include this in 2026 because I think it is very interesting and kind of funny to see. Maybe not funny, but interesting, and sometimes it's funny. Sometimes the things that I cry about are kind of funny. But yeah, so I think that I'm just going to accept that this has not worked for 2025, but we're gonna start again strong in 2026. Okay, so for my actual daily pages, if you've seen my other flip throughs on my common planner, this really hasn't changed a whole lot. I do like mostly long form journaling for the most part, and then I add in some like lettering to make certain things stick out and some colors to make things pop. I print out pictures quite often, and I also add in ephemera here and there. So there's really nothing too crazy that has changed about that. Whenever I have like visitors coming here or we go on a trip, I never usually have time to journal the individual days, but I do like to do like a recap of the week. So my best friend from home visited it at the beginning of the year. So I made this spread just kind of recapping some of the fun things we did. We were watching Shrinking a lot. We went to Byodo Inn Temple. We got some treats from Ube. There's some pictures that we took and like a trail that we went and hiked. Some food that he made for us. And I also did one when my grandfather came to visit. And this was one where I had all of the stuff sitting off to the side forever, and I didn't end up having time to like do anything, but I was like, let me just glue these in. And I just haven't written anything, but I was like, I at least want to have them in here and glued down. And so I might go back and write some stuff, or I might not. I feel like even with just this, I still get it. I still remember the trip well and kind of get an overview of what happened, but I do like including stuff like that. Yeah, so see here, there's some of my blue pages, and this was January 28th, and this was the week that I had that, so you can kind of see just like I try to keep the theme kind of consistent from the week to the week. I also have these recap spreads for each month. Not for each month. I don't end up doing it for like 1 or 2 months, I forgot, but I try to have them for most months just as a recap of kind of what happened, like a little overview. So yeah, the health issues that I was talking about, I basically was having some vision issues at the beginning of the year, and I had something similar towards the end of my pregnancy with my daughter, but the optometrist basically said it could probably be pregnancy, so I just didn't really do anything, and it went away after she was born, but it came back at the end of December. So I finally went to the optometrist again, and she referred me to an ophthalmologist who was like a for real eye doctor, not just glasses. And he basically noticed that I had some optic nerve swelling, which is called papilledema. And that's what was causing some of my vision issues, which was just like some eye strain, some eye fatigue, like some minor like tension headaches, stuff like that. And he basically told me to go get an MRI because it could possibly be a brain tumor, or it could be a condition called pseudotumor cerebri, is what it used to be called, or intracranial hypertension. Idiopathic intracranial hypertension, which all sounds really scary. And it was, to be clear, it was very scary when it was happening, because it took a little bit of time to like find a doctor, because I'm still new to this area, and to get an MRI and all that. But once I did get the MRI, I got a call back pretty quickly, and the doctor said that he didn't see any signs of like an actual tumor or any sort of like actual thing that was causing this, but there was still signs of increased pressure. So basically I do have the idiopathic intracranial hypertension, which basically means there's additional pressure in my brain and they don't really know why. And that's what was causing my vision issues. So it is still scary because there's not really a cause for it, but it's also very easily treatable. So he got me on some medication. The medication was fine for me. Like it did work. It did what it was supposed to, but it also made me really, really tired. It had some gnarly side effects and made me really tired for like 2 to 3 months. Like I'm seriously, like I was going to sleep as soon as my daughter was asleep, sleeping in until she woke me up, and then like taking a nap every afternoon as soon as my husband got home. I truly had no time or energy to do anything, let alone journal or create content. So that's why I was gone, because I was dealing with this whole thing and adjusting to the medication. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I didn't know about this condition, and I asked people for experiences on Instagram, and it's just not a very common thing. So if you like have that condition or know somebody who has it or who has symptoms, then like I guess I just wanted to bring awareness to it. So yeah, I made this page when I was talking about how frustrated I was with the side effects of the medication and just like trying to find the right dosage and everything. So yeah, but I did get adjusted to it, and it has been lowering my brain pressure, which is what it's supposed to do. So anyway, that's what most of these pages are looking like. I didn't journal hardly at all in June because we were kind of all sick on and off. Like, I don't know what day I wrote this, but I tried to do some journaling, and it's just said these last few days have been a blur of sickness and Love Island season 7, and I had like a swatch of some Crayola markers I got. So I was in a huge slump in June, and then July we took a trip back to my hometown, so that was really fun. So yeah, the daily pages are kind of all over, but that's what's nice about them, I suppose. The last 2 pages I wanted to show you guys. So we live right nearby the grocery store, so we're over there kind of a lot. And the ladies who work at the self-checkout see my daughter a lot and have seen her a lot since she was born, and they love her and they love trying to make her smile, and they always have stickers. There's like 1 or 2 of them who love to give her stickers. So I finally was like, you know what, I need to make a page in my journal, because she's like 15 months. She doesn't really have a concept of stickers and what to do with them. I was like, I need to make a page in my journal and just like put these stickers that they give her. So that's what I started doing. I only started this like a month ago, in the end of July maybe. So there's not that many of them. I mean, there's still quite a lot for it only having been like 3 weeks. But I think it's such a cute idea, and I might cut this out eventually and put this in her baby book. But I was like, these are all gonna get lost if I don't put them somewhere. So this is where they got put. And then Helen from Coffee Monsters Co. had a fruit and veggies page where she put stickers from fruit and veggies. and I thought that was really fun, so I started doing that as well. And then I also kind of just stopped doing it, not for any particular reason. But I don't want you guys to think that this is the only like fruit and veggies I've consumed this year, because it's definitely not. I just kind of stopped putting them in here. But I should start doing it again, because it was kind of a good motivation to try new fruits, you know, because I was like, I have the same kind of stickers here, like it's bell peppers, avocados, bananas, apples for the most part, and some kiwis. And so I should step out of my comfort zone, and I just use this as a swatch page. So there you have it. That's how I'm using my common planner this year. I don't really see it changing much, considering it's almost the end of August, and September, October, November, December, there's not that many months left of the year. So I'm thinking about my setup for 2026 and what that's gonna look like. I'm sure you all are too, but yeah, there she is. So if you have any questions, or you have anything in this notebook that you'd like to see more closely, or you want more elaboration on, let me know. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe and continue to watch my future videos. Thank you.